government of Mexico has a riot squad. All right, looks like we've got a brawl going on over here. They're throwing boards and fists.
All right, new video shows chaos as authorities in Mexico clear out a migrant camp just feet from the U.S. border. Video from the Texas Department of Public Safety. Up to 1,000 people were living there since October. Most of them from Venezuela. They faced instant deportation under current immigration policy. They're supposed to remain in Mexico, a little bit like the Trump administration policy. Again, the policies may be changing depending on how the Supreme Court rules on its latest immigration case. The Biden administration wants to focus on deporting migrants who pose a threat to national security. Attorney generals in Texas and Louisiana argue the guidance violates federal law. Lieutenant Chris Olivarez with the Texas Department of Public Safety with us now. Lieutenant, it's always good to see you. Appreciate it. The border sort of hasn't necessarily been top of mind, say, for the past couple of months. Give us a sense, are things getting better or worse, and are migrants sort of getting ready for more of a crackdown, or they think things are going to get better for them coming across?
Well, I mean, Lily, the numbers have not decreased whatsoever. I mean, historically, during the holiday months, November, December, the numbers have always been, slow compared to what we're seeing now. And I say slow, but we're still seeing thousands. But now, I mean, we're still seeing illegal border crossings at an unprecedented level. It has not changed whatsoever. And not just the fact that we're seeing groups of, the families and unaccompanied children that are turning themselves in to Border Patrol agents, but also those single adults, the runners, the gotaways that we're still constantly seeing on a daily basis. Also, human smuggling events that we're seeing on a daily basis that's continued to increase. We're seeing a lot more drivers that are being recruited as smugglers from out of state, even juvenile drivers. We just had a recent case where we had 2 juveniles that were involved in a human smuggling case, a 16-year-old and a 15-year-old. So that has not changed whatsoever. It continues to remain the same. But of course, with the anticipation of Title 42 completely being canceled on December 21st, we anticipate that we're going to see a surge of mass migration. I don't think we'll see what we saw in Del Rio with the Haitians, but it's going to tie up even more resources with Border Patrol agents, where we're going to have to fill in that void with state resources like we're doing now.
Title 42 meaning that the ability to quickly deport people because of the pandemic ends. Therefore, people think that there's a better chance of them coming over, either because Border Patrol agents are overwhelmed, they can get through, or being able to be released. Tell us the significance of the video of the riot, if you will, between the Mexican police and then the Venezuelans who had been deported and told to wait in Mexico for asylum claims.
Right. So we saw just a couple of weeks back where that same particular group clashed with Border Patrol agents, where some of the Border Patrol agents were assaulted with a flag. And now we saw what took place this past Sunday with Mexican authorities trying to move that camp. And what I understood when I got from people on the ground was that they actually afforded the opportunity to these migrants to stay in shelters or even to provide their own transportation to shelters, but they refused. They wanted to stay at that location because they are anticipating Title 42, and that's what they're waiting for, because they will see, they want to search that border because they know that when Title 42 is completely gone, they will be released to the country. But it goes back to earlier what you had mentioned about this is similar to the Remain in Mexico policy. So I think that why not across the board have this policy in place for all those who are coming across the border illegally, not just the Venezuelans, but we're not seeing that. And that's why we continue to see the surge of mass migration at the border. And we can anticipate that we could see numbers potentially double or even triple than we're seeing now on a daily basis, which right now we're averaging anywhere from 6,000 to 8,000 a day.
Yeah, 6,000 to 8,000 a day. Just in October, 64,000 gotaways, 2,000 people a day coming across. You got no idea who they are. Know that they came across because the censors have no idea. At some point, are both Border Patrol and the troopers and the National Guard so overwhelmed that it breaks down, that there is no more border, effectively, that the people protecting it have been overwhelmed to the point that they can't enforce it at all?
Well, I mean, you're correct. I mean, we know that Border Patrol right now, I mean, the majority, I would say about 90% of the resources of Border Patrol agents are stuck doing administrative duties, which is processing. And now when you have Title 42 completely canceled, that's going to tap every single resource of those Border Patrol agents. Now we're even seeing now that they're recruiting air marshals to come to the border for humanitarian efforts. So it just goes to show you that there really is no strategy in place to try to stem this flow of mass migration that we're seeing. And what that does now, it overwhelms state resources where we have to fill that void, either with troopers or National Guardsmen. So it's going to be interesting to see exactly how this is going to play out when Title 42 actually hits. But I mean, we are preparing. But of course, again, we're deploying every resource that we have at the state level right now.
Yeah, you got a little more than 3 weeks to plan. Lieutenant, it's good to see you, sir. Thank you as always.
Good to see you.
Thanks for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to subscribe. Click the red button to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.